Good morning, lady and gentlemen. Welcome to today's press briefing at the TTPS. My name is Jamila Bannister, Public Affairs Officer. We would appreciate that Ms. Leah Sang and Mrs. Ayang Thompson are on other duties today. As per usual, our briefing today is short and sweet. We have ASP Archie here to give the updates. So, without further ado, Ms. Archie.
Thank you. Morning, lady and gentlemen. I have some very brief updates, and so we'll be pretty short this morning. The Eastern Division, around 6:10 a.m. on the 25th of September 2011, officers of the Eastern Division Task Force and Credial Larceny Squad, under the supervision of number 1220 Acting Sergeant Pierre and number 13859 Corporal Bernard, had cause to stop a blue Cifero motor vehicle with 4 occupants ages 26, 41, 27, and 20, which was proceeding along the Eastern Main Road, Valencia. A search of the vehicle was carried out, and 1 Sig Sauer pistol and 1 magazine containing 13 rounds 9mm ammunition were found. A further check was made of the vehicle, and the said vehicle was identified as the subject of a homicide which occurred on the 2nd of June 2011, where the victim was robbed in the Sangre Grande district. Investigations into this report are being continued by officers of the homicide and the Sangre Grande police. And in the Northeastern Division, at 3:30 p.m. on the 28th of September 2011, officers of the Northeastern Division Task Force, under the supervision of Sergeant Roger Alexander, acting on information received, went to an abandoned house at 2nd Caledonia Road, Morva, where they found a green bag with the markings TTPS and Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force, containing 2 camouflage suits, that is 2 trousers and jackets, and 2 camouflage vests. No one was arrested. Also in the Central Division, around 6:15 a.m. on the 29th, that is today's date, a platoon of officers of the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force attached to Camp Ogden, under the supervision of Lieutenant Motley, were on mobile patrol along Tudds Station Road, Tudds Road, Londonville, when acting on information received, went to an abandoned building where they discovered a black plastic bag containing 2 rounds .380 ammunition, 3 rounds .40 ammunition, and 10 rounds .40 ammunition. No one was arrested. On the 19th of September 2011, a Trinidad and Tobago national who is 33 years old, was held by officers from the Grenada Drug Squad with a fraudulent foreign passport and charged in Grenada in relation to that passport. On the 22nd of September 2011, Interpol Grenada made a request to our local Interpol officers to conduct criminal records check on that individual. The man was identified by local Interpol officers that said they as being wanted on at least 25 outstanding warrants in various police districts in this country. This person is a known fugitive who has been on the run for about 2 years. The cases in Grenada are pending, and our Interpol Bureau is seeking to have the said individual repatriated to Trinidad and Tobago to face the outstanding charges in this country. The name cannot be disclosed at this time since investigations are ongoing. I'm sorry. And you all may have heard of the death of police applicant which occurred at 8:20 a.m. on yesterday's date. On behalf of the Commissioner of Police, I would want to extend condolences to the relatives and to let you know that investigations are still ongoing. Forensic and autopsy should be conducted sometime later today, the results of which would be revealed. With respect to our statistics, for the past 24 hours, between 8 a.m. on the 28th to 8 a.m. on September the 29th, total number of persons arrested 48, drug offenses 4, breach of curfew 3, firearms related 0, other offenses 5, serious offenses 8, outstanding warrants 15, inquiries 12, traffic offenses 1, fixed penalty notices 0, firearm and ammunition 0. August to September the 29th, total arrested 3,338, gang-related 449, drug offenses 623, other offenses 140, serious offenses 683, homicides, investigations 56, breach of curfew 177, inquiries 357, traffic offenses 650, ammunition 12,330, 28 magazines, firearms seized 112, outstanding warrants 853. We want to again urge members of the public to report any incidents where they believe police officers may have exercised or used excessive force in the discharge of their duties. In some circumstances, I must say we are required to exercise a discretion as police officers. But even so, we are guided by policies and training as to how we are expected to act in certain circumstances, to recognize what constitutes a breach of the law and the appropriate response that these actions warrant. The rights of the individual must be considered at all times. I repeat again that the police are governed by the rule of law, and in cases where breaches are discovered, disciplinary action will be taken, and of course in some cases criminal charges would be laid. We again urge members of the public to come forward and lodge your reports and assure you that these matters will be thoroughly investigated and the results highlighted. With respect to the statistics as given yesterday, out of the 449 gang-related, we mentioned 92 were charged for other offenses. My information, other offenses, including of narcotics offenses and other charges were laid. We cannot say whether those persons are still in custody. We will know they may have appeared before the court, whether they were granted bail and were able to secure bail, but those 92 persons were charged and some of them may have been released upon payment of maybe fines. That's it for me this morning. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, we now take your questions for about 5 minutes. Do you have any questions from the floor?
I don't know the representative from the Coast Guard be. Will the representative from the Coast Guard be there? Because
yes,
you told me today.
he was supposed to come today, but unforeseen circumstances, I imagine, call of duty, he was not here, but he was supposed to have been here today.
So do we foresee him coming back?
Probably, well, as soon as this briefing is through, I will call to find out whether he may be available tomorrow to answer some of the questions that you would have asked yesterday.
Is anybody else?
I just wanted to find out when arrests would be made with regards to the marijuana found in Point Lisa, and as well as the guns found at TT Post and the $20 million cocaine bust. Any arrests would be made anytime soon?
Well, I was told that the investigations are being pursued vigorously, and based on information received, an arrest may be likely soon. We cannot say, because of course you'll understand the sensitivity of that investigation. So to tell you tomorrow or day after, I cannot say.
One more question. I'm not sure if you all got any reports after a exercise in David Martin yesterday. Several family members of persons who were detained were expressing concern after their relatives experienced police brutality. So I'm not sure if you all have any reports from that yesterday. So
no, I cannot say for sure because I don't have that information with me. But again, I would want to urge members of the public that they can report. We have had reports being sent to the Police Complaints Authority, and I think I would have heard Ms. Lucky assuring members of the public that those matters will be thoroughly investigated. And I have all confidence that they will be.
Good morning. The 4 people that were arrested over the weekend in suspicion for gang activity, how soon can we expect a charge? And what other offenses are we looking at charging them with?
Possible gang activity and other offenses they are looking at. And I cannot disclose what the other offenses are since there are investigations going on with them.
There are allegations being made that the police have been padding their statistics on a day-to-day basis, given the breakdown that was given yesterday, particularly with the gang members. 449 detained, however, only 236 have been charged. How does the police respond to this?
Our crime and problem analysis branch is responsible for the gathering of and collecting of data and providing us with statistics. I am guided by what is given, and I am confident that the statistics provided so far are correct.
Hi, good morning. Yesterday, some members of the network of NGOs expressed concern about women who have been violated at home. Do you all have any advice for those women who are at home and maybe want to get out during the curfew hours where the men are at home and abusing them?
We police officers, that is, review reports of domestic violence as a very serious report. Police officers were trained in dealing with reports of domestic violence. We advise persons who are victims, in the event that you are in your home and it's during the curfew hours, you can call any police station and inform them of the situation, and the police will act accordingly. Police officers are aware of these situations, and they will advise how to treat these situations, so that in the event it's during the curfew hours, nevertheless it's a report which needs attention. Call on any one of the police numbers, the police station in your district, and the police will respond. In addition to that, we also have the Victims and Support Unit, which is attached to the police service, that they can call, the numbers of which were given, and in order that they can receive counseling, even for the perpetrators of domestic violence.
Okay, you said officers will be disciplined and could possibly face criminal charges for using excessive force. Do you have any idea, any statistic on how many officers did actually face these charges?
Over a period of time, you have seen police officers appearing before the court, charged for various offenses. We have seen that. I don't have the statistics here with me now, but we have seen police officers appearing before the court for abuse of authority. However, this is after thorough investigations, because you would appreciate sometimes there are allegations, and then we will be looking into these reports, and if it is found that the police officer exceeded his authority, he is dealt with.
Yeah, but how does the layman prove that in court?
I'm trying to understand your question.
If our police use excessive force on you, the court allows you over against his, how does an individual prove that the police use excessive force?
The courts are always the forum that deals with those matters. If a police officer, in your opinion, you feel he exceeds his authority, there's a process. As I would have outlined a while ago, you make a report. An investigation is conducted. The file may be sent to the DPP for advice, or it can be dealt with by the senior superintendent in charge of the division, who may give instructions whether he can be charged. Now it's up to you as a victim to go before the court and give your evidence. And if this decision is left with the court whether. So you may be a layman, you may be a victim, but the courts is there to protect everyone.
Good morning. Also, you mentioned disciplinary action. What is this disciplinary action? Is it suspension? Is it expulsion from the police service?
Well, it all depends on the nature of the report. A report is made, it is investigated. The police officers on whom the allegation is made against, he is served with a notice informing him of the allegation made against him. That is sent for an investigation, and of course, if there is merit in the report, the police officers will be made to face a tribunal. Similar to the court, he can be found guilty, he can be exonerated based on the evidence. So this is why we advise persons, do not just say the police beat me or the police abuse me. You need to come forward and let the process take its course.
And if found guilty, what is the penalty?
It depends on the nature of the breach.
Can you
It
give
may
us
be,
an example of
we may be
that?
charged days pay. In some cases, he may be, now as I said, it depends on the nature of the breach. Days pay, he may be charged, he may be warned, depends on the nature of the breach.
Okay, we have time for just 2 more questions.
Okay, I'll ask 2 questions one time then. Concerning the issue of the domestic violence, you said the women or men should call the police, but in the meantime, do they stay inside and continue getting licks, or are they allowed to break the curfew and go outside to seek refuge? And going back on the question of the fugitive, what are the charges that he's facing? He said he can't give his name, but what are the charges that he's facing?
My information, the charges at Grenada, I believe is fraud with respect to he was found with a fraudulent passport. I don't know if there are other investigations that they are looking into in that country. However, my information is that there are outstanding warrants in our jurisdictions for him.
That's what I mean. The charges that
I don't have the details of each warrant, but I was told all over the country.
And the other question? Should the person stay inside, or are we allowing them to breach curfew for their own safety?
Now, police officers, we have discretionary powers. If in a case somebody is fleeing from danger, we would not expect that you would hold that person and arrest that person for breach of curfew. It's a discretionary power invested in us. And I would not expect any police officer that somebody faced with that situation, that fleeing from danger, you arrest them for breach of curfew. So that in the event that a person is in a house and is faced with any possible danger, I expect them to act in a particular way. I would also expect that you call the police right away.
Okay, well, thank you everyone. We'll see you tomorrow at the usual time, 11 a.m. right here. Thank you.